Can I tell you something else you may not like to hear?
No.
Okay.
Oh, no. Welcome to the You and You podcast with me, Sanjiv Sangha. If you enjoy listening to today's episode, I'd be really grateful if you could share it with one of your friends who might like it too. In every episode, we look at a word, and this week I have Tej joining me, who is a body and health transformational specialist, helping ambitious women navigate perimenopause and menopause with confidence. She comes from a corporate background and a lived experience, taking holistic and practical approach to blend fitness, nutrition and mindset and hormone health. Her mission is to help women break old rules, manage symptoms like weight gain, low energy, and feel strong and confident and unstoppable without confusion or overwhelm to how they live and love their best lives. Tej, it's amazing to meet you. Thank you for coming back. This is our second episode now.
It is.
And I think this one is a good one to focus in on balance and how can we create balance within our nutrition, our exercise, being able to just live and sleep, hormones, eat. It's just like, you know, that there's so much. I find it very challenging sometimes about, well, actually, oh yeah, I'm supposed to do the strength training. Then I've got my food requirements and I'm not really vegan. I kind of get a planted box because it's nice food, not an advertisement. But I get the food boxes because I had decision fatigue.
Yes.
And so when I was working, I make lots of decisions.
Absolutely.
And it's constant. And it's for lots of people. It might be for lots of buildings. So I had an increase in that level. So trying to then go down the supermarket,
and
to
choose
and kind of go, what am I going to make? I was just exhausted by that point. So I needed the food in, so I get the food boxes.
Yeah.
And actually it saves me a lot of money as well. So I think like beyond exercise and nutrition, what lifestyle choices make the biggest impact on long-term health during perimenopause?
Beyond nutrition and exercise, it's going to come down to sleep and stress management.
Ooh, interesting. And what would you say is a good kind of sleep cycle? How can people manage stress? Because I've used boxing when I've been incredibly stressed and really frustrated, like really frustrated. I'm putting a lot of emphasis in that. And it's like boxing has been where I've gone. And it's not with sparring with someone. It's where there's a bag and then they do circuits.
Just punch the life out of it.
Oh my days.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
really?
As an kickboxing instructor, I totally understand the sense of peace you get after you've been at it like that with all the aggression that comes out.
But that's not necessarily a good way to manage.
And actually, yes, you're right, because it's quite stressful for your body anyway. So you wait until you've got it all pent up and then you will let it all out. When actually we should be able to alleviate it in small ways through the day, multiple times. It's not just journal at the end of the day and get everything out.
Yeah.
Because
that can be really bad for you if you don't do it right, because actually you can just make the situation worse.
Depending on how you do it, yes. Okay. For some people, they like to they're not journaling, they just make a to-do list, which basically takes a whole weight off their mind.
I think that's great. There's lots of different ways to journal. I've done a whole episode on it before.
Oh, lovely. I love that. But it depends. It's so person dependent.
Yeah.
Because everyone stresses about different things. Everyone worries about different things. Everyone loses sleep because of different things.
Yeah. And then it changes as well. So sometimes doing the to-do list, sometimes when I first started working again after, having a bit of a break, I was just on the tube and I'd make a voice note with all the things that needed to happen the next day. And then that took away some of that. Because
it's not regurgitating in your head. And when you're relaxing, you're like, oh God, I've got to do this tomorrow and I've got to do that tomorrow and I've got to... Because it's in your head. But because you've now basically like pouring it out into a voice note.
And then sending it somewhere.
And you're like, okay, you can actually relax. But like I said, it's individual. Journaling at the end of the day or getting out at the end of the day means that the whole day it's been building up.
Okay.
So I'm a big fan of finding ways to alleviate. Actually, I won't use the word alleviate. to manage the stress through the day, because we're never going to alleviate stress, to manage it at micro points during the day really do help.
So what have your suggestions been to
So
clients?
I have a little notebook. Me personally, I have a little notebook. So if I'm feeling emotional or stressed about something or angry, whatever emotions I'm feeling, I'll write it down in that moment. I'll take us literally 60 seconds to say, I feel like this is what's happened. And all of a sudden, it doesn't feel so heavy in me anymore.
Oh, that's quite nice.
And that doesn't mean I've solved it.
No.
But it's no longer so burdenous.
It's not going around in your head in circles.
And it's also then not impacting whatever else I need to do for the day. For example, like I'm a mum, and a lot of your listeners may be mums.
Or there might be the kids. I hope it's the kids. No, a bit of everyone.
I love the fact that it's younger women, because actually when we are in a space where we are feeling so emotional or stressed or frustrated, whatever it is that's going on, it then impacts the way we interact with others.
Yeah.
And
of course it does, because you take something else that's not related to that person.
Absolutely.
And you can project it onto them, unless you realise that. And that takes a lot of emotional intelligence.
But that's why just being able to write it down almost gives you that visibility of it, and they don't deserve to be the recipients of the
brunt of it.
Right. And they deserve you to show up as your best. And we could be talking colleagues.
Yeah.
Or we could be talking a meeting, or we could be talking, for example, my client. I have to, because when I jump on a call with a client, I can't be thinking about, this annoying thing that HMRC have just sent me a letter about, for example, and go into a client call and go, hi, how are you? How's your week been? Like, that's going to impact how she then feels how she... So it's my job, my responsibility to take care of those things that can affect how I show up for myself, for others, and then the rest of my day as well.
Yeah.
So that then I'm not dealing with a whole bunch of crap at the end of the night that will then impact my sleep.
Oh gosh, yeah, because it's quite late at that point, isn't it? Just before you go to bed to
exactly
do it. You could do a nice journaling session where you're kind of going, oh yeah, there was this amazing story like this and what have you. But to offload from your whole day that you've pent up and you're like, oh, I'm just going to get it out now. That's quite a nice. That's quite a nice way. Is there any other things that you?
Yeah. So as well as dealing with it in just breath work through the day. Everything I'm going to say is not just a one-time thing. It's a make use of these, like have a toolkit of things that you change your whole space.
I love a toolkit.
Yeah. Because there's times when one specific action won't work. At this point during my period, for example, versus, when I'm ovulating.
Yeah.
Like, as women, we are different at different phases of our cycle, and different things will work. So that's why you need a toolkit. Sometimes I will need to step outside of my physical space and just get some fresh air.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a case of just breathe, put on something. Sometimes I will put on my favourite song and sing and dance just for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And my whole energy shifts. And
it does. All that movement and the energy around you, it really changes if you do that.
Absolutely.
I know this, but I don't necessarily do it. And I'm just like, and that's not great.
And that's why I encourage everyone to have a physical list on your phone, written out, and then stuck everywhere that you may potentially be susceptible to those stresses or where you're working. Because when we are in the thick of that emotional stress, we don't think of all the things in our toolkit. It's easier to see the list and go, actually, I fancy this one.
Yeah.
Or this one might work. And if it doesn't, try the next thing.
Exactly. That's those are really... That's really nice.
It's really simple.
Like it is. And like breath work is amazing. Like, so I talk about the box breath, which is easy, like 4-4-4.
Very.
And then there's the ones where you breathe out for longer, which is a bit more soothing. But it's because I know that when I get stressed, I hold my breath.
Yes.
I'm very good at holding my breath, and my breath work is...
Most people do.
Yeah, so that's quite good. Now you mentioned sleep and obviously the little things. What are your recommendations around sleep?
So sleep, I would say, is the foundation for everything.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important, because it affects the way your gut behaves.
Oh, yes.
It affects the way, obviously, your brain. It's when we do our most mental processing, emotional processing, repairing and recovering of the body. So I cannot, and obviously the hormone regulation, I cannot stress how, stress and sleep, how important sleep is. But it is, obviously we're in our 40s, but the habits that you build up through your 20s and 30s get embedded and become sort of a priority in your 40s, where I would say, make sure you're eating well through the day.
What's the last time someone should eat before going to sleep?
Your body can do only one of these two big processes, digestion or sleeping and repairing and recovering at a time. If you eat too close to bedtime, your body's contending with, do I do the digestion or do I put them into full deep rest?
So how much space would you
3
say?
hours.
3 hours.
3 hours.
And that's like any kind of carbohydrate, any kind of eating, anything with like, so if some people like a cup of tea, which is like completely the wrong example because it's got caffeine in, or a glass
Might be a
of
herbal
wine.
tea.
A herbal tea, yes. But if it was something, but if you had a normal cup of tea with, forget the caffeine, rhubarb, let's go with that, with a bit of milk in, that would be the wrong time to have it, wouldn't it? Even the last 3 hours, do you think?
It's different. Tea is not so much.
Yeah.
It's more consumption of food.
Actual food.
Yeah.
What about wine?
Wine, I'm actually a massive believer, and many people will be totally turned off me just by this statement, but I'm a low to no alcohol advocate.
Yeah, I do believe that is the best way to live, but I do like... I love a glass of wine.
Right, but this is the thing, and I will always question my clients, for example, to say, what is it that you feel you get from the alcohol? Because...
Mine is stress relief.
Right.
And it's actually, I know that it creates more stress because it leaves me a bit more on edge.
Yeah, but... You said you like alcohol. When I asked you what you think it does for you, you said stress relief. So actually, do you like alcohol or do you like the effects of what it does?
Yes, I think it's the effects of what it does because it feels like it's a release of all that tension that's built up through the day.
Right.
And the people that I've had to deal with.
Right.
So it's like, oh, you know what, just get that. I'll get that bottle of wine. And hopefully I won't drink the whole bottle. And it's like, but then the next morning you wake up, you can't exercise because you're like, oh, I'm so knackered and I didn't sleep so well. Yep. And it becomes, I know what it becomes and I know how it is. It's not like I sit here drinking a bottle of wine every night. Like I don't want, people to think that, but I know that I've like a glass of wine because of the fact that it's not every night, but it is, if I reach for it, it's because I've probably had a stressful week or a stressful day.
I would then ask you, what else, and again, I'll refer to the word toolkit, what else is in your toolkit to help you alleviate that stress?
Oh, I've got so many things, but I don't do those.
Right. Again, it's getting into the practice of looking at that toolkit and going, actually, instead of wine, what can I use first? What can I use before this? Because you already know that the wine is going to have other detrimental effects.
Yeah.
What else can you... It's like going down and getting some boxing in.
Yeah, it'd be like the boxing. It could be going to a yoga class. It could be
just getting on the phone to your friend and just having an absolute rant at her.
Oh, God, no. I don't believe in doing that.
Oh, I do it.
I know. I think we do it, and it's good to be able to have someone that can do that, but it's also about doing it within the right way so that you're not always offloading.
Absolutely.
Because I've had that.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's caused... It's just like, when someone's telling you the same story, but that's like a whole nother beast.
No,
that's a whole
other episode, yeah.
So like, and then it's also, I have a creative release as well. So it's like, if I was to make something with my hands, there's so many projects in this room. You will not believe. It's a bit painful how many projects there are that are semi-started or collections of bits to be able to create.
Yep.
But I don't pull them out because there's going to be a mess and I have to deal with the mess. And I've got other people living here and, consideration. So what do you think is the right amount of hours?
So we like to put times on everything because it makes it really convenient for us to track and measure, which I completely understand. Yeah. So if I was going to say hours, when we're younger, 20s, 30s, we can get away with 6 hours.
Yeah.
7 hours. We were all those women that were able to go out partying and then still end up at work on a Thursday night after drinks after work and still end up being able to get to work for 7:30, 8 a.m. And even though we may look like we've had a rough night,
Yeah.
we're still there, we're still able to get on with it.
And do the work
And
as well.
do the work. Now, in our 40s, it's obviously much
bit
more
harder.
difficult. Yeah.
You can't do it.
No.
You actually can't do it.
So we actually need to, as our hormones start fluctuating from our 30s onwards, we need to be getting more and more sleep. And women need more sleep than men.
Really? Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yep.
They normally get less because they have all the household work to do and they're overthinking and prepping the kids and the lunch boxes or whatever.
6 hours is not even enough for a minimum. Like we need to be aiming for, I know the blanket is 7 to 8 hours. Women actually, to optimize, not just survive, optimize, we should be getting around 9 to 10 hours.
No
Optimizing.
way.
Optimizing is a word that our healthcare system doesn't use because it's just about, are you okay? No, we don't want to just be okay. I work with women on being their best.
Yeah, so I could potentially do that, right? And I've been doing it this week, and I think it's because I've had to make some quite strong choices for myself. It's just because if I go upstairs and I go to my bed, I will fall asleep.
Right.
But I will also wake up because that's what happens as you get older.
Yes.
You wake up, you have to go to the loo and what have you, and then it's about falling asleep. And whether or not you can or not is another matter. So I've got my little tricks to be able to do that.
Wonderful.
But then when I've slept for so long, I haven't necessarily felt that great because I might have overslept a little bit.
People call it oversleep, but what are your habits around the hours that you're awake? So did you get physical activity in?
Yeah.
B, did you eat well through the day? C, did you have alcohol? As we age, our body doesn't flush out the alcohol at the same rate it used to.
Really? Oh, so our liver and our kidneys will be more under duress, do you think?
I wouldn't say it's a duress thing. It's just, anyway, a human body sees alcohol, ethanol, as a toxin.
Okay.
So the first thing it wants to do is go, oh my God, we've got a poison in our body. And the body's very self-protective. It's going to shut down everything it needs to focus on getting this poison out. Okay? So essentially, even fat burning is not a priority. So that stops.
Oh, really?
Because your body's like, burn this alcohol, use alcohol. Don't use what's in the fat cells, use the alcohol first, please. So fat burning stops, which is why when women are in their 40s going, I can't lose the weight. And I'm like, how much alcohol are we having? So 3 times a week. This week, you probably didn't burn any fat.
Are you joking me?
No, because also, like I said, the rate that your body metabolizes and uses that alcohol slows down. It's not as efficient as doing it as it used to be.
Doing it well.
Or not doing it well, as the case more likely is going to be.
Oh my God, I did not realize that. I love wine.
But, no, you don't. You just love how it makes you feel like you don't have as much to deal with in your life and the stress release of it.
Yes, true. I have always. It's so common in architecture. It started in architecture that, you work hard, you play hard.
Oh, no, it's not just architecture.
It's just like,
no,
we're
it's
all
like
going out for drinks.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We got a deadline. Let's hit this deadline. Let's go down the pub.
Well, it's the same in IT, in investment banking. Projects get delivered, drinks.
Yeah.
We've just had a big problem, drinks. Yeah. We've just started a new project, drinks to get to know each other. It's always drinks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's very common. I suppose that's also because it's so cold here, climate-wise, in a lot of the months, and it's something that people can get into a cozy pub and have a drink. But
I mean, we can name all the excuses that we want.
Oh, okay.
But
you're not letting me do my excuses.
No, I'm actually, I am holding myself back from pointing out excuses because we want to help people here understand how to optimize. But
it is about You're right. It is about optimization, and I am using excuses. But I did not realize that by me drinking 3 times last week, for this whole of the week, it would be just like shutting down that fat burning, which is something that I really need.
It won't prioritize
because it's around my organs. Wowzers.
And stress, obviously.
I'm really...
I know, and people don't understand this, and that's actually not why I'm low to no alcohol in my approach. It's because it also, our as women, when our hormones start changing, alcohol is like a red flag to a bull. Our hormones hate it. So again, I don't want to just work with women to, look a certain way.
Yeah.
I'm here to help women optimize. So where the world tends to think, over 40, you're, start turning yourself down. You're not as good as what you used to. Well, actually, we choose how that we manage that.
Okay.
By our habits, our actions, our choices.
You've upset me, Ted. You really have. I think we need to move on to the next question because I'm not going to be able to. I'm just, I know that alcohol's not good, and I know how I've used it as a tool, or not a detrimental tool.
A plaster.
Yeah, definitely a plaster. And I think I'm so gutted.
It's a habit. It's a habit.
It is a habit, and it starts young.
Yes.
It starts young,
and also it gets influenced by everyone else.
Yeah, around you, and it's.
Can I tell you something else you may not like to hear?
No. Okay. God, no! Stop, woman. Stop.
See, I'm going to do it anyway because I am forthright in the same way as you are. It will affect the way that you show up in the world.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And for most, they see the immediate win of you're less inhibited. So you can appear more confident, and you can.
People love that less inhibited
Absolutely,
person.
yes.
Definitely in me as well, because otherwise I'm like this.
Mm-hmm. But then there's so many other things that you could do to help that. And I was exactly that person. You wouldn't have caught me on a podcast speaking so confidently.
Yeah.
Even up to 5-6 years ago, I literally put up a post on my Instagram last week saying, here was me in the first year of this social media account, where I was like, hi, so guys, I want to talk to you about something really important. And I'm like, guys, want to get the best out of you. How are we going to do that? This is like, I'm going to talk to you in a no BS approach. Yeah. But that confidence before only would have come out if I had had alcohol.
Yes, it's the confidence. It's also, oh God, I think that if you're on the back of a hangover, because you still got the alcohol in your system, you're still a bit looser. And actually, can you really make the right decisions when you're in that state? And I think that does need to be considered. So let's move on.
State of shock.
State of shock still. You're going to make me a teetotaler, aren't you? Oh, God.
Not going to say anything.
Oh, my days. What does balance actually look like when trying to fit in fitness, work, family, and responsibilities?
So balance is so individual.
Yeah. Because
we all prioritize different things and what's important to us. And I think that there's a question you need to ask yourself is, if you're prioritizing certain things, why are you prioritizing them? So if, for example, your work is a priority above everything else, why? Yeah. Is it because you saw your parents struggle? Is it because you have a goal that you want to get to? Is it because you're scared about losing your job? Everything's all in a bit of an unstable...
The fear.
And so there's, question your priorities first, and why they are priorities. A lot of people, their kids, their family will be a priority. And so when we talk about balance, different people will prioritize different things, and therefore their balance will look different. So for me, and I'll just be completely honest, my priorities are me, my children, my business. Okay?
In that order?
In that order.
And that's I agree with that order.
First.
I agree with that order, and that is because then you can, if you show up in the best that you can,
yes,
then your children will have the best of you. Because some people say, oh, my children are my priority. Well, actually, no, because you're suffering right now.
And that was how I was.
Yeah.
And that was exactly how I was.
And now you're telling me you're tired or whatever, and actually...
And turn up as a, excuse my French, but a shit mum.
Yeah, and...
or a shit friend or a shit wife, partner. You are going
just because you're prioritizing a little bit of exercise time or your diet, not your diet, your food,
everything.
Your nutrition.
No, that's all.
But just because you're doing that, there's no bad thing about that.
Right. And so when I say me, I'm not talking about me as in, getting my nails and hair done.
Yeah.
When I say I prioritize me, I mean, have I done enough physical activity to help my body?
Yeah.
Have I taken some time to just bring myself into a happy mental space?
Yeah.
Have I nourished my body in the way that everything else will work in a way to optimize me, so that I do show up for my children?
Yeah.
And when I say my business is my third priority, I don't mean my business as in the vehicle. I mean my clients.
Yeah.
Because I love what I do. So that is actually my passion.
Yeah.
So my passion is my third priority. It just gets encompassed in my business.
Yeah.
So yes, it's for me, balance will look like my physical activity, my food, my headspace.
Yes.
And then what I do to incorporate and it doesn't need to be...
You don't have to be so rigid either, because it can flow, can't it?
It can be mutually inclusive. So my kids, I will get them involved in my yoga sessions. My son says, let's do Pilates. We will do strength training sessions at home together.
And they'll eat good food.
Exactly. We cook together. They'll even do meal prep with me. Yeah.
I think, no, but that's really important. That's key skills.
Yes.
They're learning how to prep the food. About good food. And actually you're able to communicate effectively with them as well.
Oh, it's wonderful. Because when they hear me talk about this stuff, my kids will say, oh, Mummy, what's our protein today? Like in this meal, what's our protein? Oh, and they want to get involved in cooking, preparing. And I love that, because I'm teaching them a way of life, not a set of rigid rules, if that makes sense.
Yes. It's about, the mechanisms to live a fulfilling and strong and healthy life, which is what you're doing for your clients as well.
Yep.
Because if you didn't glow as you do, you look amazing.
Thank you.
Like, why would people come to you as a fitness instructor?
Absolutely. And it isn't, for me,
I'm not saying that you have to be skinny or anything like that.
Yes.
It's not like, I'm saying that fitness. I think there's something, if you see it in young athletes, any athlete, where they exercise, that they're eating the right way, because that's part of,
their job.
They're like the footballers, the easy example. They're getting paid lots of money. They have all their meals probably prepped for them, they might cook themselves, but they glow.
Yes.
They glow from the inside, because actually everything that they need is being done in the correct way.
For them and in the right place, yes.
Except, obviously, when there's mental stress there, you can see that and it comes out. But when people are glowing, I think that there's something in the health. Like right now, I'm not glowing. I know that. There's something that
I wouldn't agree with that, but
that's very kind of you. But there's points when I glow.
Okay.
And you can
feel
see
it.
and you radiate, and you're radiating out.
Yeah.
But then it's amazing. It's amazing when you have that feeling and that strength, but you want to be able to see it in the person that you're using for assistance.
You want to, again, the word influence has been changed so much by social media. But I do want to influence how women show up for themselves.
Yes.
Because as women, I'm not talking about specifically, obviously, yes, more intensely in a cultural perspective, but women overall, we haven't been taught and practiced the art of prioritizing ourselves.
Oh God, no. And definitely not in our culture either.
That's what I mean. Even more intensely.
Generally,
yes.
It's always been everybody else first.
Yes.
And the media is still trying to do that.
Yes.
Because you can see certain countries where it's like kind of coming out like that. And I'm not, I am a feminist, but I think that when you're brown, this is my personal opinion, you have to get over the potential racism that you have to deal with. There's we won't go about racism, we'll go institutional biases against you. That's more your harder things that you have to work against. Feminism is like a second rate thing that we, is like there. But as a woman, like generally speaking, I am a feminist, but really most of my work is always against the kind of institutional biases that we face.
So it's so interesting, because I'm a feminine.
Yeah, interesting.
Mm-hmm. So it's not that I sit here thinking trad behaviours and trad wife type of behaviours. I come from it more of a sense of, I lived in a masculine energy for so long, where I would definitely have termed myself as a feminist.
Yeah.
And I found that really burdened me energetically, physically, mentally.
Yeah.
And as I started transitioning, learning, understanding more about my feminine energy and allowing it to be the forefront of everything I do, my peace, my energy, my radiance, everything elevated, because when I talk about prioritizing me, I don't do it from a feminist perspective. It's not like I deserve this and I'm, stick it to the man.
Yeah.
It is more a sense of what makes my flow come out at its best.
That's so lovely. That's actually quite beautiful, because actually that's where we should be.
Yeah.
Because, I'm completely with that. Am I there yet? No. I'm on a learning curve.
I love that.
I'm not going to kind of sit here and go, oh yeah, I'm so with that. Yeah, I'm going to wear the float. That's just not me. It's just like, I appreciate that I need to tap into my feminine more, because I am very much in a masculine world in most areas of my life. Yeah. And that's something that has led to a lot of problems for me. Stress, anxiety, all of it. Yeah. Because you have to be so fierce, and actually having to be that fierce. And, I've never had the opportunity to be wrong in what I say, because if I'm wrong in what I say, then you're looking at some quite severe problems, Sanjiv, like being fired.
This is, obviously I worked in IT and investment banking, highly masculine space. In fact, I took pride in myself being in that space and being able to hold my own and be held in really high regard when I was the only female in a floor of just men.
Yeah, so you and me definitely have the same background there.
Absolutely. And I genuinely, when I say I took pride, I used to shout it from the rooftops and be like, I do this and I can do it like this. And I told myself I preferred that space, and that I didn't like women.
Oh no, I never did that.
I did that.
But I didn't. It's very challenging. It's quite challenging actually, that one, because I come from a family full of women. And so, but I've always been around men in my work, my studying, uni. And I kind of realized there was a point, probably about 10, 15 years ago, I started prioritizing my female relationships.
I love that.
And some of those have gone now.
That's okay.
And it's just change. Yeah. And then you have to accept the change happens.
But this is it. When we say balance, it's everything.
Yeah, it's like new people come into your life, and it might be for a season, a reason, and the rest of it. It would be nice to have had some of those older friendships stay, but they weren't necessarily right. And they weren't necessarily right for me or us.
For a time, they were.
Yeah.
And we all grow. And I've been explaining this to my daughter as well, when she's been upset.
Because it's very... The friendships in the female circles are complex, because they're multi-layered.
Yes. And everyone is going to grow at different rates, and different things will become important to different people at different times. And that is why when we talk about balance, foremostly, you need to make sure, again, that we come back to that question you asked in the first episode about what's the question that women aren't asking that they should, is what's going to help me be at my best for longer?
Yeah.
Is it going to be me pouring some more time into my physical self, being active, eating better? Because those will keep your longevity in place longer than anything.
Yes, and also your mind.
Right. Then you can show up for everything else you need to do. Because actually, and this was what I used to think, was that time was the thing. I remember my first corporate job, and I'd come out of my computer science degree and gone into this bank, and they were all there till 7, 8 p.m.
Oh God, that's so exhausting. Yeah. It's so boring. And I used to work into like 12, 1, 2, 3
But this is what I mean. And sometimes...
And that's all you did in architecture. Right. They just bled you dry.
But same as law, I see it with a lot of my clients. But I used to see this as, okay, we need to put more time in, more time. Yeah. And then you realise...
It's like a weird competition where people just sitting at the...
Yes.
I never did that, because I always worked, and then I'd go.
Well, I kept trying to do that. And then I realised that actually... there was very little productivity past a certain point. So I was like, there's no point.
I can't work after a certain point. No.
Right. So you need to go and replenish.
Yeah.
And it was about how productive you could be. And the more I focused on looking after myself, so when I started training, when I started eating well, my productivity levels went through the roof in shorter hours. Yeah. So I was able to achieve more in shorter time periods.
Oh yeah, definitely. I completely get that, because I can be like that. I know that I can do my work quite
But that's
quickly.
where I see high performance,
Yeah.
is that not how much more can you do, it's how much do you get done.
Yeah, within that period of time.
Yes.
And how on point is it?
And then that's what allows you to create better balance, because now you're not pouring yourself into 14, 16-hour work days, because you're able to do that much better because you've looked after yourself into that 6 to 8 hour stint.
There's that whole struggle. Like, lawyers will have it because they time charge, but
Right.
the whole stint of like, oh, how productive does it look though?
Yeah.
Okay, if you could bust one myth about women's health, fitness in midlife, which is life, what would it be?
We grew up thinking that cardio was the thing in midlife.
Oh yes.
That all women thought cardio. If I'm now
Running.
gaining weight, I need to run more. I need to jump on the bike more.
Yeah.
Let's buy a Peloton.
Yeah.
No.
Let's buy the Peloton.
Yeah, that
Who's got the
myth-
space for that?
Change your cardio mentality, and I will die on this hill around strength training being the primary mode of physical activity to get the best out of yourself. Switch the cardio to priority of that.
Yeah.
Keep some cardio in for heart health. That is one myth that still keeps perpetuating.
Yeah, how much cardio? Because like, this is quite interesting, because I love cardio. I used to like swimming, and as I mentioned before, my skin started going a bit funny, so I had to stop. And then now I just walk. So I might
Walking's fantastic.
But I don't walk every day because sometimes I just don't get that chance. But I try to some days. I don't know.
Excuses.
Okay then. Okay, sod this. Okay, looking back, what's the one thing you wish you'd known earlier in your journey?
Exactly what I just said. I wish that someone had frog marched me to a set of weights and gone, let's do this. Because I think that once you start doing it, you fall in love with how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
And it's not around how, because back then in my 20s, people went to the gym to lose weight.
Yes, the gym was, gym's a funny old thing, yeah.
And I wish someone had told me, A, that, but also B, get work, get some help on your traumas, your experiences, and start actually being able to take a good look at yourself.
Yeah, I think it's once you start looking at yourself and those traumas and overcoming those blocks and really understanding where they've come from, because you'll be very surprised, then that will help propel you into the next stage. Because what I find is that a trauma that might have happened when you were 5 or younger, it's like when you know, if you were to take a spike to a mirror or a piece of glass and like whack it through the middle, it just
all the shards.
So it kind of reaches out into all the perimeter of those different ones, just one.
But Sanjiv is so interesting because it can be there's people out there with one massive trauma.
Yeah.
It actually came out, there was some research done that lots of micro traumas are far more like blockers for people.
But what happens is that it's the way you then approach lots of other different things. So it might be one, but it might transfer into lots of different areas.
Absolutely.
And you're like, oh, I'm back there again. And even
like
if
your
you even if you felt like you've dealt with it, you might find then, oh, okay, a year down the line, something else happens.
Yes,
and it's like, okay, I need to revisit this.
There'll always be different triggers that come back to the same wound.
Yeah. And it's quite interesting.
Love that.
I find that.
Too big a conversation for this.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Tej, for joining me on this episode around balance, around health and fitness. It's been such a pleasure. A bit of an eye-opener. I'm still trying to get my head around the whole wine thing. And if you guys enjoy this podcast, please recommend it to a friend. And yeah, let's go on the next episode.